Well, hello there, future Door Dashers, food delivery people, and current Dashers. All right, this topic is extremely important. I don't feel like bringing my hot and cold bags when I'm going to pick up an order. Boy, I see a lot of this on the internet. Very disappointing. Let me tell you what happens when you don't do that. First of all, go buy some food at one of your favorite places, whether it be Taco Bell or Wendy's or a nice restaurant. And I want you to drive around for about 25-30 minutes. And make sure to get a drink too. Yeah. Drive around for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I want you to sit down and try to eat it. Do you like it? Try that with a Baskin Robbins order. Do you like it? There's a lot of safety measures when preparing food and to be at a restaurant. There's a lot of Board of Health regulations and other things, especially with chicken and your meats and things like that. They have got to stay at a certain temperature in order for them to serve safely. Okay? And it's really important. You do not want to deliver food that's not safe for the consumer. As delivery people, we are simply couriers. We're not required to have a food permit or liquor licensing or anything like that to deliver. But in order to save lawsuits on us and the company we work for, we have to take special precautions. So that's why we're not to touch the food. And they're supposed to be in hot and cold bags. And basically, the first reason is the quality of the food. The whole idea to go is to get it just as if you were sitting in that restaurant eating that food, fresh, hot off the grill. Okay, that's the whole idea. It doesn't mean, oh, it's all right, it's kind of cold. They'll throw it in their microwave. How do you know they have one? A lot of hotels, in the rooms, they don't have microwaves. It might be somebody that just rented a house or an apartment and they don't have anything in there. They're waiting on the stuff to be moved from storage or the movers, whatever, and they don't have nothing, not a plate, not a fork, not a microwave, and not a refrigerator. So think about it. Think about it. Do you honestly think people are going to pay that really good money for the service and the percentages and all that when they could just go down there and get it themselves? They're going to pay, for you to go down there to get their food and bring it to them where it's not hot anymore, or the ice cream is melted, or the food quality is really poor. Especially people that are double dipping, where they're running one or two or three apps at a time, and the time on the delivery is just not getting done properly. People are waiting too long for their food. Of course, I mean, restaurants, some of them take a long time. I've waited as long as 2.5 hours, and sometimes I've walked in and food was ready. It depends on a lot of factors there of why that's like that, and I have that in other blogs. But, the main purpose of this vlog is to explain to you how important it is to have hot and cold bags. Now, if you don't have any, you can go to Walmart for $1 and go to the freezer section, and they have these silver bags for $1. And that's a tax write-off because it's supplies for work. And you can buy as many of those as you think you might need. And they're used for hot or cold. And they'll help you till you can afford to get real good bags. Some of the companies will send you a bag. I think Uber Eats doesn't do it anymore. I think Grubhub still does, and DoorDash sends one. I used that DoorDash bag like for 4 hours the first day I worked it, and I hated it. I do not like it. It's too small. It doesn't hold the heat in like I would like it to. Um, I threw some Taco Bell stuff in there one day and drove around for a little while and then went to go get it and it was cold. Yeah. Um, to me, that's not sufficient. I want it to be hot when it gets to the customer. That bag, it opens up on the sides. I have another vlog about how to set up like a pro doing food delivery, and you'll see what I use. I use a variety of bags. And I use a lot of bags because sometimes I get stuck doing really big orders, and I don't want to be surprised because I have enough bags and coolers to cover it. But I immediately went out and bought a $5 bag at Walmart and a couple of those tinfoil bags for $1. And that $5 bag works fantastic. It's an insulated bag. You go back there in camping and all that where they have the ice coolers and that, and you can get a $5 bag. That is fantastic, and it's washable. I take mine and I put them in the bathtub and put a little soap in there and soak them every day, and then rinse them off and hang them out to dry. And they're wonderful. You have to remember, you're carrying someone's food. This is something they're going to put into their mouth. You want clean bags and coolers. You want, the food to be hot. You want it, if it's supposed to be cold, you want it to be cold. Drinks, there is no excuse for a drink being melted or ruined. You get a good cold bag or a cooler and ice packs, and you put it in that thing immediately and shut the door on it till you get to the delivery. If you want to make good tips, you'll get the job right. If you want to work this job, you'll do it right, because you're going to get fired if you don't. And I'm not joking. First of all, if you go into a restaurant and they refuse to give you the food, especially if it's a signature restaurant of DoorDash, most of those people are hooked up by computer, direct link. And all they got to do is touch that button that says, I am not giving the food to the dasher because they didn't bring their hot or cold bags in. That immediately goes to the computer at DoorDash. And then what happens is you go on your app, okay, and you send that message, you touch that message that says, I have a problem, and then it says, the restaurant won't give me the food. So now you have just admitted that they won't give you the food. Then DoorDash will call or text you and say, what's the problem? And when you say, they won't give me the food, and DoorDash puts you on hold, they call whoever the manager is of that restaurant to verify that you are there and that they're not giving the food, and to verify their report. And then you know what happens? They call another dasher immediately on the computer. They send someone else to come over and get it. And they say, no, thank you. And DoorDash will either fire you on the spot and lock your app up, and you'll know when your app's locked up when you can't schedule a shift. They'll send you an email that you're finished, and anybody that you've referred to be a driver and all that, you lose your referrals. You won't see those. Because guess what? You can't even get in your app to see it. You lose that money. So, they don't play. That is your job. If you don't know the contract, go read your contract again that you acknowledged when you signed up with DoorDash or whatever food company you're with. And there's a lot more detail that's on the website. Go to DoorDash.com. Read it. This is your job. Yeah, you may say, oh, I'm an independent contractor. Well, guess what? We deliver food. It's a requirement to use your hot and cold bags. This is not a joke. If you're delivering it to your mom or your dad, you can bring them jacked up food? Really? You'll never hear the end of it. You create problems where the customer has to get credits, refunds, whatever, because you can't do your job right. Your job is to go to point A, pick up food, Store the food appropriately and safely, away from bacteria, germs, and whatever, If you smoke, you don't want the food around the smoke. So put it in your bags. And then deliver it to the customer. There it is. Point B. Deliver it to customer, you get paid, boom, instantly. Okay? This affects your ratings. Yeah, they say, well, they don't judge us on the food. Well, they do. When they hit that 1 star, you're done. It'll drop your ratings like a rock. And it takes a lot of orders to get that back up. Because every 5-star rating that they give you only counts like 1 point. So, it really takes a lot to make a comeback when you get that super bad rating, down in the ground rating. So, you don't want to do that. Now, if you look online, you'll see a lawsuit from a restaurant to DoorDash. Now, I don't know if they were a signature restaurant or they were just put on the app. There's a big difference, but anyway, they sued DoorDash because the problem was the food quality. They were losing business and repeat business because the food was being delivered without being in cold bags, without being in hot bags. It was taking too long. The quality of the food was ruined. The basis of the lawsuit was the food is not like if they came to the restaurant to eat it. It is destroying our company. And it's true. It's true. So you are starting lawsuits and problems with restaurants, and then you create problems for other dashers when they come in, with their hot bags. We've got to listen to all this drama, how the last 4 dashers wouldn't bring their hot bag or cold bag in. And what do? And I tell them exactly what to do, And even if the restaurant is not computer generated for the orders, and the DoorDash lady calls from California, she's a little Oriental lady, and she calls that order in, all that restaurant has to do is say, hey, that last dasher you sent at such and such time, I don't ever want them in my restaurant again because they won't bring a hot bag. And guess what? It's real easy for DoorDash to just kill your app instead of not send you to that restaurant anymore. It's a lot easier for them to just kill your app because you're not doing your job. So, when I get online and I listen to these people trying to teach other people how to dash and how they're making all this money, and they don't give a damn, and they show pictures of drinks sitting in their drink holders in their car with straws in them and food laying in a seat. Guess what? A butt goes in that seat. A butthole goes in that seat. Or they put it in the floor. Well, just put it in the floor and the heater will keep it warm. Well, guess what? Shoes go on the floor. You step on gum. You step on dog pee. You step on whatever. And you track it into your car. And you're going to put somebody's little paper bag in the floor with their food in it that's sweating from the steam or the heat that it was cooked in. And it's going to absorb that. Really? What if a little baby touches that bag after you walked in dog poop and put it in that carpet and you put that bag on there? Are you thinking? Really? $1 for a little aluminum bag in the freezer section at Walmart. $1. It doesn't take a whole lot of brights to figure this out. You're paid to do a job. Do it. And do it right. Do you like the money? You like working when you want? Like clocking out when you want? You're not on a schedule. Do you like it? Because if you do it right. Do it like you'd want it delivered to you. It's not fun and games. It's a very serious matter. It can cost you your job just like that. In seconds. Okay? All I gotta do is push that button and your app is deactivated. You cannot schedule a shift. You cannot do a dash now, and you can't figure out why. Until you get that email when they get around to sending it. and then you read it and you want to argue back and forth, they don't care. You're done. You know, you get in an argument with somebody in the restaurant, better watch your step, because all they got to do is report you. And that'll shut you down quick. There's a guy on YouTube called Apropreneur, or whatever it is. And he's been fired twice from DoorDash. And how he got back on the second time, you're not supposed to be able to get back on a second time. And he described a situation where he got in a beef with one of the restaurants, why they took so long, this, that, the other, I don't know. And that's why he got in trouble, because he got sideways with the people. You know, you have to remember who you're dealing with. These are just hamburger people, man. You know, they always said, well, the worst job is working a to-go joint or a gas station. Well, there's some people that have college educations that work there too, and they do care, and they do a bit better of a job. But, you know, generally, people that work in the to-go joints are young folks. It's their first job. They're learning responsibility, and this, that, and the other, or they're older folks. A lot of these businesses get paid extra to hire handicapped and all that stuff. They're just trying to do something, you know, to make some money. So don't kill somebody else's job just because you can't do your own. It's just really upsetting when I see this stuff on the internet with these people going, yeah, I made $1,000, you know, in one day in delivering food, and look how I do it. And they're doing a live thing, right along, and they're not even careful with the food, you know. I saw one guy on there that was talking about, well, I make sure to know where every outhouse is. You know, the construction outhouses you see. He lives in a big city, and they have them down the roads where they're doing construction and that. And he's like, I always make sure to watch for those. That way I can go to the bathroom real quick instead of going in the restaurants. And that bothers me a lot. There's a guy going wee-wee in an outhouse that generally doesn't have toilet paper, and then he's going to touch the food bag and he hand it to the customer. Really? I can't even believe he said that on the internet. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you can go in as soon as you get to a restaurant and wash your hands and go to the loo and be totally clean, and go out and get your bags and go in and check in with the restaurant, or check in with the restaurant and see if the food's ready. If they're telling you you're going to wait, well then take your bags out to the car, go to the loo, whatever you got to do, and then wash your hands thoroughly, and then be ready with your food bags to get that food. But I'm telling you, it's not a joke. This is what you're paid for. You want the job? Do it. It's not that hard. It is not that hard. I listen to this. I don't feel like it. My bags are in the car. Well, guess what? Your bags will be in the car when you lose your job for delivering. For any of these food companies that deliver, they don't play. They're offering a service, and they're charging for it. Okay, they're seriously charging for it, and customers are paying more, whether they're senior citizens that don't drive anymore, or whatever, and they can't get around too much, or there's not taxis or buses around. You know, they can't walk, you know, to go to a restaurant or store. They're paying you. They are paying you to do a service, and they're paying big time. So please respect the customer, just as if it was you. Please respect the restaurants, because us other dashers that come in there and have to listen to all this crap about you, you know what I do? I find out what their name is and everything, and I will contact DoorDash corporate, and I'll tell them, such and such person in the area I'm working today has been doing orders for this restaurant. This is their name, and I want them stopped because they won't bring hot bags in. We've lost contracts with restaurants, okay, because they're sick and tired of dashers not bringing hot and cold bags in. So they just tell DoorDash, no more, we're done. We're through. We're done. They take too long to pick up the order. The food sits for 30 minutes to 4 hours. They don't bring their hot bags in. You know, they let their kids grab the food. Their kids don't work for DoorDash. That's why they have an age limit for DoorDash of how old you have to be to do it. Okay? That's why they have your driver's license for theft and a background check. It's not your little kids. Little kids don't belong behind in restaurants behind, in back house or anything like that. They have no business carrying these customers' food. I've seen it twice, and it's very displeasing. If you're that lazy, you got to bring your 3 or 4-year-old to carry customers' food bags and drinks because all you want to do is stand there and hold the phone. That's pretty sad. The worst one is one in Destin that brings her baby with her in the car seat, and I'm talking about baby, and leaves the baby in the car to check in on a banquet order at a premium signature restaurant of DoorDash. And the owner sees this and is like, why is your baby in the car? And then the owner complains to me, why are they bringing kids and stuff with them? Are they allowed to do that? I said, well, they can bring people if they don't disturb you or the customer or whatever. And some people run duo teams, like BB and her guy, they always run duo. He drives, she picks up and delivers. And it's really handy when you have 2 people running the DoorDash app and delivering. It's ultra fast, great service, and great ratings. And you can get a lot more pay and a lot more accomplished when you have 2 people working it. But, you don't send your babies in to go get food and hold the bag out like it's a trick-or-treat bag. You don't leave your kids in the car, period. And it's really inappropriate when you go in to pick up food and you got wacko children running all over, destroying the restaurant, making noise. It aggravates them, Figure it out. It's pretty simple. Dress nice for your work. Make sure your car's clean inside and out. Let me tell you what happens when a customer comes to your car and sees it all nasty. You're carrying a dog carrier in the back, and they'll report you. We sure will. And it costs DoorDash because they'll give them a food credit or something, to try to make it better. If a restaurant, say you're doing an order, like a banquet order, when they come out to inspect your car, they'll refuse you that order. If they see your car's all trashy, there's cigarettes everywhere, dirty ashtray, and the floors are full of trash, and you got the dog carrier in the back and all that kind of stuff. The car hasn't been vacuumed or anything, and they're trying to figure out where you're going to put this food because you got your dirty laundry in the back seat and all that. That they can refuse you the order. Do you want that? I would say not. If you're serious about this, get your act together, please. I am sorry, that's a cold, hard truth. There is no excuse, none, for being that lazy. Because your laziness will cost you your money. That's why you can't work anywhere else. Because you're so lazy. So your parents will tell you that. It's like, did you get up in the morning and make your bed? Really? That's the beginning of a great day. It's a pretty simple job, and the money is fantastic, and the rewards are wonderful. There's some great customers. The tips are awesome. I've made some outrageous tips, cash tips, okay? Even though our tips are pooled amongst all drivers to raise the price of the orders for the drivers to accept, in the time being, you want to try to make your cash tips so you get all your tip. I've had people tip me on the app and tip me cash because they were so happy when I delivered. That food was so hot they could hardly hold it in their hands. Yeah, buddy. Now, I have a lot of custom-made bags that are hot bags that are great. They're used for hot or cold. And my bags go up to 4 hours. Be smoking hot. Smoking hot. And I can deliver ice cream cakes, I can deliver ice creams, shakes, drinks, all kinds of stuff because I'm prepared to do it. And I don't play. I'm working for those tips, Jack. My tips are higher than what I get paid. Okay? And I work all over the States for DoorDash for a long time. And it's a side job. I own my own businesses. I don't have to do this. I do it because I love people. And it's fun. It's kind of like playing a video game. You go get the order, and you pack it up, and then you drive to beautiful homes and places and deliver it and make new friends, and the people tip you good, and they give you great ratings. You don't have to ask for good rating, and if DoorDash ever finds out you ask for a 5-star rating, you're fired. That's a promise. You cannot ask for a 5-star rating. So take the time to do it right, please. It's really important. Do you want this job? Think about it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you need to just, close your account. Otherwise, stick with us in this Dasher family and delivery people family. And do it right. Do it like you'd want it done. Think about what you're doing. You're just being a jerk when you go in that dinner house with no hot bag and no cold bag. And there's no excuse. Oh, I haven't got my DoorDash bag yet or my Grubhub bag. Go to the store and buy them. There's a tax deduction, man. It's called supplies. You get every penny back. It's supplies for work. Okay? You go and you buy a $1 bag at Walmart. You buy a $5 bag. You go to the Dollar General. They have hot bags and stuff. They're about $10, $15. It's cheaper at Walmart. And then, when you get where you're really, turning a lot of deliveries and all that, you can afford to go get really nice bags. And companies like DoorDash award you real nice, expensive catering bags after so many deliveries. About 200 deliveries, and you can get a banquet bag from DoorDash for free. Yeah. And they run 40, 50, they go 40 and up for anybody's bags. But you got to bring your hot and cold bags in. And if you ever have a restaurant that nags you about your bags, like I'll go into Chick-fil-A's, I can't stand them. And they're a big-time signature restaurant, DoorDash. I will go to Chick-fil-A, and they are nasty poo-poo, some of these young kids that they hired. You don't have your DoorDash bag. Well, you know what? My bags are red, so what? This bag is $60, and it's way better than the DoorDash bag. All I'm required to do is bring my hot and cold bags in, and they're clean. It doesn't make a difference if it says DoorDash, Guinness Stout, Miller Beer, Budweiser. Who cares? The point is, I'm doing my job. How about you? That's what I'm saying. So if they get snotty with you, report it on your app, on that happy and unhappy face. Report it. Employee, and if you can get their name, put that in there too. Was very rude to me and made fun of my bags. And it'll get done because DoorDash goes right to corporate and tells them. Let me tell you how important hot and cold bags are. I did one delivery at Panera Bread. Oh, I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do that delivery, but the pay was really, really good. And actually, it was a banquet order. I didn't realize it. And a lot of times the banquet orders be handed off to regular Dashers when nobody accepts them, or they're really short-timed. And it was quite a bit of food. But I had the coolers and everything to handle it. And I went in there, and the food was not ready. And then when I went over the order, before I left, they had stapled and put stickers all over a big giant bag. They had put hot and cold stuff in the same bag. And they go, here it is. Like I'm just going to grab it and go. Are you serious? I'm responsible for that order. I had to make sure all the pieces are in there because it's going to cost me. It will cost me my ratings. It causes problems with the company. They have to send another Dasher out to redeliver the parts that are missing or whatever. And And sometimes these people can put that stuff in upside down and all that. I had one the other day where the stuff leaked all over because they didn't pay attention to what they were doing. But I told the girl, I said, okay, so let's go over this order before I take it. And she's like, I'm not opening the bag. We just stapled it shut. And I said, I didn't ask you to do all that. I have a responsibility. It is a requirement of my job to verify the food before I leave the restaurant. She's like, well, it's on the receipt right here and everything. There it is. And she starts riffling off, and I'm just looking at her. And I said, please, I have to have a representative of the restaurant because we cannot touch the food. So show me every item so I can go through my app to make sure I have it all. Because that's why the checklist is there. So you make them take every single thing out of that bag and verify it. Because 95% of the time, these restaurants are wrong. They've missed the bacon on the bacon cheeseburger. They've missed the bread that goes with the salad. They've missed the salad dressing. They've missed the 12 ketchups the customer ordered extra. But I made her do it, and she was mad as hell. And which takes me longer. It takes more minutes out of my delivery, for my delivery time, and guarantees and all that junk, because I gotta stand there and go through every single item, not to mention the little argument they want to pose to you, and you have to kiss butt and smile no matter what. You can't get mad with them. And but I'm not leaving till they do it. And if they absolutely refuse, I'll get a manager. If they refuse, then I just report it to DoorDash on the unhappy and happy smiley face, and the DoorDash will eventually take them off the list. Party's over. But even if it's a signature restaurant, they'll take that particular restaurant and dump them because it's too problematic to go there. But yeah, and so I finally got the girl to go over the order with me so I could get out that door, and it was a lot of stuff. A big, huge, like, grocery bag full of stuff. And so and I looked at her and I said, you know, this is a cold drink. This is a cold salad. And you've got this with hot food. I said, I can't deliver it like that. So it's a good thing we open the bag. And the girl just looks and shakes her head. And as I'm walking out the door, she's shaking her head and waving her hands and telling somebody else that she's working with. And the customer's sitting in the restaurant listening to that crap. And I'm smiling Jack walking out the door. I got to get out there and get that order going. Get my mileage ready, send a message to the customer that food is ready. I'm 5 miles from you. White Mercedes, you know, because that customer would usually come to my car. So anyway, went to take the order, and the people, it was really hard to find their house. I lived in a really expensive area, and in Blue Water. And boy, were they nice. They had somebody waiting out front to wave us down because we couldn't figure out the address. A lot of these places don't have addresses on the doors. They don't have address on the curb. They don't have a curb, or they don't have mailboxes and no address. It's really confusing. The addresses skip numbers. Numbers make no sense. Where normally one side of the street is odd numbers, to the other side of